Hey everybody, the Draftsman podcast is back with season 3 over on the Draftsman YouTube channel or any podcasting app. On Draftsman, Marshall and I discuss and give advice on being a student or professional artist. Here's a clip from the new episode about entrepreneurship.
It's the Draftsman Show.
When I see students setting out to freelance, which now is almost always on the internet, as happy as I am for students who get jobs in companies, there is something particularly exciting knowing the difficulties ahead, that still, this is your product. Not everybody's inclined, Stan. Not everybody really, it's not just the word entrepreneurship that scares some people. It's that they really don't have that kind of a spirit. It is more important to them to have structure. But there is a way there is a way that I gauge this pretty quickly. A number of the classes that I do, the first assignment is to design your own project. In fact, that it's the title of composition, perspective, design your own project. And a lot of students have a tough time. I don't know how to design my own project. Well, here's some helps. What is it that you wish you could do for money? What is it that you would say, this is the project I wanted to do even if I wasn't taking this class? This is what I'd do if I wasn't bound by a class. Now, can you define that and then make it fit what we're doing with the criteria on this class? And some people do get excited about that. And when they do, those are entrepreneurs. They know how to say, I'm going to start with my desires, like Neil Gaiman talked about. I want to start with what I have to offer and what I want, and then see, is there a way to develop this so that it fits this class or fits a market where people would pay for it? But that is a test of an entrepreneurial spirit. If a person says, I like designing my own project. If a person says, I need someone else to tell me what to do, to me, that's sort of a watershed tipping point of this person is more inclined toward entrepreneurship and a person less inclined.
Wouldn't that also be a good test of whether this person is a good artist?
No.
Not craftsman, not just someone who can execute correctly, but a good artist.
Yeah, a good composer.
Yes.
A good person who makes decisions, because one bears entrepreneurship bears the responsibility of making a decision and taking responsibility for the decision. Yeah. Whereas the desire to, I don't want to do that, means that you might say, I would rather have someone else make the decision and let me just carry through the work. An artist versus a craftsman. I see what you're getting at.
Being an artist is all about problem solving, isn't it?
Yeah. It's about making decisions.
So is business.
Yeah.
Starting a company. Like, it's all about problem solving and creativity to solve problems.
Yeah.
You could define the problems. Like, it's also about asking the right questions with art and with business. But all of that kind of goes together. You have to be brave enough to even search for the right questions and then attempt to answer them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
With both of them, I see those very closely related.
I do too. I think that if you're composing with art, which is how you're going to make it art because you say, I think it should be this way. You pull back up and you say, I'm also composing my projects and my career. But here is a way where it can become symbiotic.
Okay.
A person who loves to make decisions often cannot carry through with all those decisions because there's too much of the actual labor to be done for one person to do it. And a person who loves to have someone else give them structure, if the two get together, if one person says, I can use you because I can pay you to, or give you a percentage of this if you can carry through with the things I can't do. Another person says, you can bear the weight of responsibility for this, and I will do everything I can to contribute to it. Those are symbiotic relationships between those two types of personalities.
Yeah. Now, are you talking about business or being an artist in that specific situation?
I'm talking about when you're a student in school.
Yeah.
And you don't like it when the teacher lets you design your own project. He doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
Versus when you're in school and the teacher does define the project and you say, why would I bother to do that? I got my own ideas for a project. Those are two opposite personalities, both of whom are students that can be complementary to each other.
Okay. And then what does that suggest? Let's say that the people listening right now have now identified which of those two groups they fit into, what they naturally react to in those situations. What does that mean for both of those? Does that mean they should either become, employees, try to look for a company to work for, or become an entrepreneur?
So like advice for them?
Yeah, like does that suggest this personality type? Does that suggest that they naturally fit better into one of these different types of careers?
I think it does. I think it's a litmus test for that I like to make decisions. So yeah, advice would be to the one who likes someone else to give them structure is have such good craft that other people want you to do the work for them. Mm-hmm. And if you're the person who likes to make the decisions, then you've got personnel challenges. You've got how will you pitch? How will you convince? How will you get the funding for? How will you get people to buy? It's a different level of responsibility. But some of the people who are best at designing the projects are not good at carrying them through.
Because they're the creative thinkers. They might not be good craftsmen, but they're the creative thinkers. So there's two very different things here. You don't have to be good at both.
That's right.
A lot of entrepreneurs actually are not good at executing on the actual business. A lot of them are as well. The best ones usually are, because then that makes them a better boss, right? They can communicate with the people that they're working with, and they know what kind of tasks to assign. Like for example, and I might be going on a tangent again, but I like it. I learned how to edit making my videos first. I didn't know how to do it, but I learned the craft of it before hiring someone to do it for me.
Yes.
By knowing how to do that, I can then go communicate with them, and I could be realistic with the way I'm talking to them. If someone who knows nothing about editing goes talk to an editor, they're going to give them assignments that are impossible. They're just they just don't make sense. They don't know what they're talking about. And people hate a boss like that.
Yeah.
And so, just being a good craftsman will make you a better boss as well, but it's not necessary. You can have the bigger vision, and then you can you can work with people that could take your vision and they know what to do with it, as long as you trust them.
Some of the best art directors I worked for had experience as illustrators. They knew what it was like. There were some very good art directors that had not had experience as illustrators. They were just good leaders. But there is that advantage to know the job of the people that you're working for.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. It's like the CEO of a software company who started out coding and knowing how software works. Right.
Yeah. They just make better decisions and communicate better. Thanks for watching. If you like it, subscribe to the podcast. Links are in the description.